You might see Elon Musk as that rocket science guy, or a billionaire, or the real-life Tony Stark. What you don't see is that for all of Elon's greatest inventions, there lies a broken heart behind the scenes. Here are the hard knocks Musk faced all throughout his life, in his childhood, while becoming a billionaire, and even while sending the famed Falcon Heavy into space. Hi, my name's Peter, and welcome to OSSA. A tearful childhood. Before we heard of Musk as a genius engineer, he went through some serious family challenges. Elon allegedly didn't have a good childhood, saying that it was miserable, and he lays most of the blame on his father, Errol. Musk has even referred to his father as a terrible human being, saying that he's committed almost every crime one can imagine. Errol, for what it's worth, denies all these accusations, saying that they're merely the words of a spoiled child. So what happened during Elon's childhood in South Africa? When Elon was about 10, his parents got divorced. Elon, his brother Kimball, and sister Tosca stayed with their fashion model Canadian mother May. Raising 3 kids alone wasn't easy for her. At one point, May had to work 5 jobs to support her family. May says that she had to scrimp, save, and hustle to raise Elon and his siblings after the divorce. I remember crying when one of my kids spilled milk. I cried because I couldn't buy another milk that day, she sadly recalls. In a recent interview, the 71-year-old and still modeling May says that if Elon got his skills as an entrepreneur from his father, then he has her to thank for his ability to save money. Even though Elon portrays himself publicly as somewhat aloof, he once was and probably still is a vulnerable soul. After the divorce, Elon felt really sorry for his dad, who seemed lonely and very sad. So Elon decided to keep his father company. But today, Elon refers to his years with his father as a real mistake. On the one hand, Elon's father Errol was a brilliant entrepreneur and extremely intelligent. On the other, well, according to interviews, Elon says that his father Errol emotionally abused him. Musk didn't want to reveal any specifics, but when speaking with Rolling Stone magazine, tears fell down the 46-year-old CEO's face when he recalled those years. It wasn't much better at school either, as Musk was brutally bullied for years. He was the youngest and smallest kid in class. Elon recalls that school gangs would literally hunt him down. The boy was so stressed that only science helped him to hide from this miserable reality. Musk taught himself how to program, and at the age of 12, Elon sold his first bit of software, a video game called Blastar. After a couple of years, Elon tried to leave his troubled life behind by emigrating to Canada with his mother. While it may seem like things got easier, Elon's deep emotional trauma turned into something else. The billionaire with a broken heart. The world got its first taste of the Elon Musk we know when he earned his first billion back in 2002. Back then, Elon and his brother Kimball invented the online payment system we know today as PayPal. Though it seemed like Musk was having a great time as a burgeoning tech billionaire, back in the real world, he was facing terrible tragedy in his marriage. Elon fell in love with Justine Wilson as a student, and soon after they got married. The young couple were really excited in expectation of a baby boy. However, 10 weeks after the birth, their son unexpectedly stopped breathing and had to be put on life support. Doctors couldn't save the child, and the baby tragically passed on due to sudden infant death syndrome. Elon had a hard time dealing with the loss, and just like in his childhood, he tried to find a cure by throwing himself into his work. Musk started to work 120 hours per week with no downtime. He founded his third company, SpaceX, that year, with the aim of building spacecrafts and proving the then unimaginable viability of commercial space travel. But that wasn't the limit of his ambition. A year later again, Elon co-founded a company that aimed to offer high-speed, upscale, luxury electric cars at prices affordable to the average consumer. I'm of course talking about Tesla. Meanwhile, Elon and his wife still lived in hope of having kids, but this time they decided to try in vitro fertilization. So this means that mature eggs were retrieved from Justine's ovaries, fertilized in a lab, and then implanted back into her uterus. And the process was an incredible success. This is how Justine gave birth to twins, and then 2 years later to triplets, all 5 of them healthy young boys. The 5 kids brought joy to the family, but it didn't last for long. Elon's constant absence and endless work problems led to familial neglect that made Justine's life unbearable. She tried to talk about it with her husband, even offering counseling as a solution, but Elon still pushed Justine to simply accept the relationship as it was and him for who he was. Justine didn't want to fight, but she couldn't bear it any longer either, and she finally made the decision to ask Elon for a divorce. It was a tough time for the two of them, with their marriage ending in acrimony. Elon felt broken and betrayed, while Justine said that her husband made those times a war, adding that when you go to war with Elon, it's pretty brutal. Justine was asking Elon for a house, a Tesla Roadster car, support for their children until they turned 17, $6 million in cash, alimony of $80,000 a month, and a 10% stake in Tesla and 5% in SpaceX. Courts sided with Justine and all her requests were eventually satisfied. In fact, the expenses of the divorce, SpaceX and Tesla altogether forced Musk to live off loans from his friends as he was literally out of money. The man was broke, but Elon wouldn't be the billionaire we know if he couldn't solve those money issues in less than half a year. This past year has been the most difficult and painful year of my career, Musk revealed afterwards to The Times. The solution Musk found to ease his pain was his engagement to his newfound love, actress Tallulah Riley, only 2 months after his divorce. But there's yet another chapter to Elon's story. Spaceman in search of love. I will never be happy without having someone. Going to sleep alone kills me, revealed Musk in one of his interviews. This shines a light on the motivation behind Elon's rapid shift from marriage to marriage. At the very moment when Musk must have thought that his family life was finally settled, everything went wrong. You probably remember back in 2012 when Elon and SpaceX made history by launching the Falcon 9 into space. In doing this, it marked the first time a private company had sent a spacecraft to the International Space Station. But the price of that success was a rift in his relationship with Tallulah Riley. As you can imagine, the level of time, money, and simply nerves Musk devoted to that historic launch must have caused some issues. Old patterns re-emerged. Tallulah couldn't stand it any longer, and the couple split. Once again, Musk was devastated, but still very much in love. As he tweeted to Riley at the time, "It was an amazing 4 years. I will love you forever. You will make someone very happy one day." And Musk must have thought he was the luckiest guy in the world when the two reunited and actually married each other again a year later, both looking to figure it all out this time. But their relationship ultimately ended in divorce in 2016, as it seems there's just no cure for Elon's workaholic lifestyle. The loneliness behind the rocket science. Musk couldn't bear being alone, and soon after the split he started dating actress Amber Heard. However, their busy schedules caused the two to eventually break up too. Musk was left alone with only his endless work for company. Well, that and insomnia. The Tesla board soon started to fear about Musk's use of Ambien, a popular prescription medication typically used for the temporary relief from insomnia. Musk didn't help matters by doing nothing to hide the fact, stating that it's often a choice of no sleep or Ambien. The long list of side effects of Ambien includes aggression, depression, anxiety, emotional blunting, and worse. For someone as isolated as Elon, he was especially vulnerable, and he suffered with all of those side effects and more each and every day. When Musk turned 47, he spent his birthday working a 24-hour shift. All night, no friends, nothing, he told The Times. He even almost missed the wedding of his brother Kimball. Musk turned up 2 hours before the ceremony, and while he managed to make it, he also left immediately afterwards for more meetings at Tesla, even though it was a tough year over at the car company. These days, Musk is more optimistic about his business, but pessimistic about his own happiness. "I thought the worst of it was over. I thought it was. The worst is over from a Tesla operational standpoint, but from a personal pain standpoint, the worst is yet to come." Despite his personal struggles, Musk's career in 2018 brought the billionaire his greatest achievements yet. The test launch of the powerful Falcon Heavy rocket, for instance, was a massive success. And many other projects similarly followed suit, with the Tesla Model 3 topping global sales of plug-in electric cars, as well as becoming the top-selling plug-in passenger car in the US. In September 2018, Musk's own personal wealth reached an estimated net worth of $21.6 billion. This year, Musk has made yet another attempt to save himself from loneliness when he began dating the young and ambitious musician Grimes. The singer even announced that she had changed her name to C, the symbol for the speed of light, reportedly as an encouragement to Musk. Despite their busy schedules, Musk says he has no plans to relinquish his dual roles as chairman and chief executive. But he also adds that if anyone can do a better job than he does, he's more than willing to pass over the reins right away. Even though his childhood struggles and broken heart seems to be far away in the past, Elon still has outbursts of anger when he hears news about his father's behavior. To give just one example, Elon Musk made headlines when he announced he had a baby with his stepdaughter, who is 40 years his junior. Elon can't understand or accept it either. "I've tried everything. I tried threats, rewards, intellectual arguments, emotional arguments, everything to try and change my father for the better. And no way, it just got worse." It seems like Musk's childhood relationship with his father is something that will never change. But it's also now clear that Elon's stone-faced outward expression and occasional meme-based banter with his fanbase is all a facade for a man forced to suppress conflicted and painful emotions, keeping things bottled up ever since he survived what was no doubt a painful childhood.
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. I mean, I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.
Somewhere in this traumatic background, you can see how time and again work was the key to Musk's escape from pain, channeling his energy into coming up with some of the most powerful scientific solutions of our times. Thank you for staying awesome. I'm Peter, and I'll see you next time.